two.
Take two. All right, and we are live. We're back. Having some technical difficulties, but I think we got it figured out. So hopefully everybody's jumping on. If you're watching live, type in hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And welcome, everybody. Hope we get some people jumping on and asking some questions, commenting. So
yeah, we were just talking about pizza, but I was just about to talk about the fact that we got cauliflower crust pizzas.
We did get cauliflower crust pizza.
And they were delicious.
They were delicious. So there's only been one other place other than the grocery store that we've been able to get like a cauliflower crust pizza that's made at a restaurant. But if you're on a fitness journey and you love pizza and you want to get a pizza that has less carbs and less calories but still tastes like delicious pizza, then go for the cauliflower crust. And this was no exception. It was delicious. It tastes like just like a thin crust, like a crispy thin crust pizza.
Delicious.
But I have never seen a food truck with pizza.
I hadn't either.
Like usually it's like tacos or burgers or like I call it ballpark food, like hot dogs, hamburgers, Frito pie, stuff like that. But this was actually and it wasn't just like one of those pizza racks that runs the pizza through. It was an actual fire oven, like an Orno.
Yeah.
That they cook it in.
Punchy's
Pizza, right here in Rio Rancho. If anybody's local wants to check it out, they're over at Brew Lab 101 on Southern. It's pretty good. They're only there on Fridays. Yes, on Fridays. So it was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. And we got pizza for everybody. So even though we got cauliflower crust pizza, I still was aware that like it's still going to be a lot of calories. Like not as much because it's a cauliflower, but it's still going to be a higher calorie meal. Because I got like the 10-inch cauliflower crust and I ate the whole thing.
Yeah, me too.
So,
I'm stuffed.
But I knew that was going to be the plan today. Like I knew that was the dinner plan. We planned it out. So all I had today was a protein bar, one of the Robert Irving ones, and then my protein shake. Yeah, those are amazing. And then what did you eat today other than coffee?
I had coffee too.
You had coffee.
Mm-hmm. And
you hear
water.
that, Peaches? She had coffee.
Yes. Love coffee. I even, in my introduction to music class, have a slide with my Bitmoji drinking coffee and with music notes coming out of the mouth too. Yeah, that's me. Coffee and music.
That's awesome. So this was your first week back at work after summer break.
Yes, it was.
And how was that for you?
You know the answer to that question. So a lot of people don't know that the first few days of school is professional development for teachers, which means we're in meetings and we are being fed a ton of information and it changes every year. And there's always a new program and something new to learn. And it's a lot. And this week we did that from Monday through Wednesday, and the kids started on Thursday. So we just had kids Thursday and Friday, but it didn't really give us a lot of time to prepare or plan.
No.
So I felt a little like a fish out of water, which is silly because this is my 18th year teaching. But of course, all of my classes have gone fairly well, but I'm exhausted.
Yeah. And so the first, yesterday actually, because no, it was the day before yesterday. It was Wednesday. Wednesday was the day that you actually weren't in meetings, at least most of the day, but you actually set up your classroom.
I was in meetings from 8 to 12:30.
Right, but wasn't there a point of time where you were like setting up your classroom and moving heavy things around?
Yes, in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when I was moving Tubano drums, I mean, they're pretty large drums. They have handles on them. I'd move 2 at a time. That was my workout for the day. I moved 30 Tubano drums. I moved bucket drums, which I call cardio drums because they have basically a yoga ball and a bucket and drumsticks inside. And so I moved all of those around the classroom and um, got a workout while I was setting up.
Mm-hmm. And tell everybody what the kid told you today when you were doing the push-ups. Did that happen today, or was that another time?
No, that was today, but I don't remember when I was doing push-ups. Oh, it wasn't when I was doing push-ups. It was a kid that was about to do push-ups. And so what I do is I have the kids greet me when they come in the classroom, and they can wink or wave or spin or give me a hug, or some of them do push-ups. And one got down to do push-ups, and another kiddo said, "Is your watch on? Are you measuring your exercise, Mrs. Stark?" So the kids
So
totally
they know
me.
you. They know, because I'm sure you've been in the classroom at some point doing cardio drums, and then you stop and start turning on your watch. And I'm sure at some point there's been some kid that's asked you, like, "What are you doing with your watch?"
Well, there have been a couple of times when they've come in and I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing push-ups again. I'm recording
Oh,
this
that's
exercise."
why.
So that's why.
That explains it.
Hmm.
That explains it.
But it really gives you the idea, and the just the example that you can work out at any time. I mean, if you're doing yard work, if you're moving heavy
Mm,
things, if you're doing housework, you're cleaning, that all can raise your heart rate, but also your strength training
exactly.
in some ways too,
Yeah.
if you're doing lifting.
Exactly. Yeah. Why not measure it? Hey, Wes, what's up? Thanks for jumping on. Yes, it was wild. It was an actual pizza truck with a fire oven inside it.
Well, it
Like
was in
it,
front of it. So you
yeah.
have the little window and such, and then in the front is the fire oven.
Yeah, and the guy like gets out of the truck. It's not like, a typical food truck where, they're standing inside, cooking everything. This guy had to get out of the truck, come around to the front, get the thing that scoops up the pizza, and yeah, it was like brick oven pizza, and it was delicious, but like I've never seen that in a food truck. But it makes
Took
sense.
forever, but it was
It makes
good.
sense that it took forever because there's only one like Orno in there, and we ordered like 6 pizzas because we were
Well,
feeding
and
a bunch of kids and our friends, and so
they feed the brew lab too. The people inside the
mm,
brew lab order
that makes
pizzas from
sense.
outside.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, and when I looked online, you could order like Grubhub or delivery from them, which is wild because on a Friday night, so many people like doing pizza, and that pizza is really good. So, and I felt bad because there was one dude working there when I put in the order, and then when we got there at 5:30 to pick it up, they were way behind because he had two other people coming to work, but they had just gotten there like at 5:30. So I can't imagine. He was like, "Do you need a job?" So yeah, it was crazy. Fire oven pizza in a food truck. Um, but I'm glad you were talking about turning on your exercise thing at work, because I've talked to some other folks too, and doing things like helping somebody move furniture. I've actually had a few people that I talked to over the last few weeks that they're like, "Well, I didn't necessarily, get everything in, but I did help someone move and I had to move furniture." Or, I know our friend Amanda is, doing a lot of yard
She's
work and
redoing her yard.
landscaping and moving rock. And that absolutely 100% counts as exercise. Like,
Today I did a lot of movement activities with my kids and in my classes, and I turned on my watch, and it counts. It really counts. I don't
mhm.
have to come home and do a workout if I'm working out all day. So I have been more diligent about turning on my watch.
Yeah. And that's legit too, because if you think about it, you're actually burning more calories over the course of like 4 hours doing the same thing and moving around consistently for 4 hours than you would be of 30 minutes of, high intensity workout. It's kind of like taking that and spreading it out through a longer period of time.
Hmm.
But you're still activating muscle tissue. You're still increasing your heart rate. You're still burning calories, you're still moving your body. So I say it counts.
I agree. I agree. And I look at my watch and my heart rate is up and I'm hicklety ticklety bumblebee. Will you say your name for me? I mean, I'm moving and
Yeah.
grooving and it counts.
Absolutely. Well, and then there's the days where you actually do the cardio drums. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, for anybody who's watching this that doesn't know what cardio drums are, do you want to explain that?
Sure. So there's a bucket and you put a yoga ball on
Like
top
not
of
a
it.
5-gallon bucket, like a big bucket, like this big around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it fits the exercise ball. And you use drumsticks and you use levels. So you'll hit up high to the beat. You'll hit the drum on the top, on the sides, on the bucket, on the floor, and you're constantly moving and you're changing levels. So it's called a cardio drum because it gets your heart rate up while you're making music.
Yeah. And you're standing up while you're doing this. So, like when you're up here, you're hitting up here. But then when you hit the bottom sides of the bucket, you have to like squat down.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's
So,
right.
So it's funny because sometimes I've heard her students say it. They're like, "Wait a minute, this isn't PE. I thought this was music class."
Mm-hmm.
So
Look up, what is it? Never mind, because it doesn't
look
have.
up. Never mind.
Well, it's Seven Nation Army stick drumming, but it's just with the sticks. It doesn't have the actual bucket
The
drumming.
bucket
So
drum, but
what
that thing that you pulled up,
was
that's
pretty
exactly
solid. Yeah,
what we're talking
that's
about.
exactly what we're talking about.
Mhm.
If you wanted to show a little clip of that video, yeah, no problem. So that's cardio drumming, and then I also do regular drumming and
Mhm.
lots of moving around the room and.
Yeah. And that I think that's so cool. And I mean, I've done it with you.
Yeah, so watch this
but-
cardio drumming in here.
Yeah, you break a sweat. Like you get moving and jumping around, and it's literally a workout. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one thing that I do with mine is I also do, you're on your drum and then you do your neighbor's drum and on your drum and then on your neighbor's drum. And it's good movement.
do you ever have kids who like try to drum on each other?
No.
Right?
Yes. Knock on wood, that has not happened yet.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah, your
How
classroom.
was your week?
My week was pretty crazy. It was a pretty wild week because I made one little tweak to an ad that I ran and it exploded, and I got thousands of people opting in, and so it was just a lot to keep up with. So
I think thousands is exaggerating a little bit.
it felt like thousands.
Okay.
But for me, doing that work, I'm not up and moving around. I'm sitting at a computer or on my phone. And so for me,
So what time do you get up in the morning?
I've been getting up at 4:30 so that I can get to the gym and get it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours of working out. And my workout, I'm doing 6 sets of a particular lift on a muscle group. And then, 4 different exercises for each muscle group. And then in between the sets, I pace around the gym so that I'm getting steps, so that I'm getting movement, so I'm keeping my heart rate up, so that I'm burning calories. But then I know that, when I go home to start doing, the other busy work, that I'm going to be sitting at my desk or, more sedentary. So I have to be really mindful throughout the day of like, okay, I've been sitting for an hour. I need to get up and move around. And then if I take a phone call, if I'm on the phone with one of my clients, I try to walk around and pace around, or I'll go outside and walk. And that's why you see a lot of the videos that I'll make, I'll be walking around, and you've told me like, you can't do that. You're making people dizzy. It's dizzy. It's like watching the Blair Witch Project.
I didn't say that, but yes.
But that's why, because I'm like, I've been sitting for a while, so I want to pace around. I want to move. So yeah, so that's been my week. Very busy week, but in a really good way. Yeah. Do we have anybody else jumping on? Dance rhythm jump rope.
I have not, but I'm not the best jump roper.
A friend does it for cardio. That's cool. So man, before my leg injury, I could rock some jump rope because I did a lot of boxing and kickboxing, and that was just a typical warm up. And I could do the fancy hopping from foot to foot and kicking one leg out and crossing my feet and just doing all kinds. Like when you see the boxers and the montage movie, like the Rocky montage where they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I used to be able to do all of that, but now with the nerve pain in my leg from the break, hopping on my right leg just by itself,
Won't
no
happen.
way, no way. I do my left, I could do both feet, but just the right one, I could do maybe a couple, and then it's like
Wes, I'm gonna have to try it because I've got some rhythm, and I can dance. But we have to add that jump rope in there. I'll have to try it for sure.
I do.
There we go.
There we go. Is this what you mean? Oh, snap.
Ooh, look at that.
Now, are you going to
sexy.
have each kid have a jump rope?
Oh, no, I'm not going to do it in class. I'm going to do it by myself working out.
I can't even imagine. It's bad enough when you do the boom whackers to give each of those kids a jump rope and have a classroom of 30 kids with each kid have a jump rope.
That's the PE teacher's job.
There you go.
And she doesn't love jump rope season, especially with the kindergartners.
She probably feels the same way about jump
stroking
rope
themselves.
as you feel about recorders.
Woo, yeah. I don't teach recorder
Why not?
because they blow too hard.
It's obnoxious. You did ukuleles though, didn't you? Did you do ukuleles at one point? No, you do the
No.
xylophones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
do
fine.
xylophones, metallophones, glockenspiels, all non-pitched percussion instruments and drumming,
Nice.
but no recorder. Yeah.
Nice. So
And the ukuleles I would love to do, but I don't have ukuleles in my classroom that work.
oh man.
They're 30 years old.
We got to restring them and get them.
No, that's not it. It's the pegs.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
you can't even necessarily replace those.
right.
Gotcha. Well, so last night we were hanging out at home and we were just messing around, and I was messing around on my phone, and sometimes I like to click on an ad for an app that looks cool to see if it might be something to create content with. Or
I'm glad you clarified that we were just messing around.
we were
because
just messing around with
on the
apps
phone.
on the phone. But this one app came up, and I forget what it was called. I think it was called Glam or something. And
Yeah.
it was an AI app, and I'm sure that all of you have seen these, apps for AI technology that come up. And this one will take photos and videos that you have and make reels and different pictures. And I was like, let's try this out. This will be fun. And so there's one that's Olympic bodybuilder. And so,
So here's a
we
picture
we
popping up.
decided to see what it would look like if we kind of went from where we are now. And so here's one. This is the first one that we did of Anna. I'm pretty sure you have a 27 pack there.
I think so.
If you look closely in this one, AI gave me an extra nipple. I don't know why.
I'm pretty sure your tattoo is
Yeah, it's if you zoom in on it, it's raised. It's it's got this weird
3D
thing on it.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a 3D tattoo. Maybe. I look at this and I think, well,
And your face is what? I mean,
I
you're a different person.
I no longer need to go to the gym anymore. I have AI.
No.
I don't know what that is. AI just decided that it belonged there. And then, so these first few that we did, we definitely didn't look like ourselves, right? They are, but they weren't that color. So if you look in the other picture, my shorts were blue, but AI decided that my shorts would look better as red. But yeah, I have a 37 pack in this photo.
And my shoulders are
Yeah, I'm so swole that I have stretch marks in this picture.
my shoulders are ridiculous.
Yeah, you. Austin said you have a back dimple.
I actually
Oh
do
my
have
goodness.
back dimples in my lower back.
Yeah,
True
but these are insane.
That's not, yeah, that's a little different, I think, right?
This one actually came out good. I thought,
Except for
except
my
for the
leg.
legs. The legs look weird. There's like 15 different muscles. Like it's a quadricep, not a octicep, right? So you're not supposed to have 8 muscles on one leg. But outside of that, everything else I thought actually looked decent. I thought AI did a good one, good job on that one.
That's where my abs would like to be.
That's where you would like your abs to be.
Sure. We can put it that way too. Well, I think my legs are like stupid. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then this one
I
is
like
like
looking girly.
you like
I do.
yeah,
You
you're
know,
like
I'm fit, I'm in
She-Hulk.
shape, but I'm still girly. and
This
I like
one
that.
looks like you ate a trenbolone sandwich.
No, I have another knee. Like another kneecap.
Yeah, you look at She-Hulk there. So this one came out pretty good. I thought this was probably one of the more realistic, better ones.
That looks a lot like the actual picture,
Mm.
except for the arm. I don't know.
You're not
Well, it's a
allowed to
picture
have.
behind. There's
You're
a
not
picture
allowed to
behind.
have like better shoulders than me. Okay, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to have bigger shoulders than me.
I don't.
You had a heart transplant.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then I thought this one came out pretty good, but if you get really close to my belly button, it looks like I have a belly button piercing. AI decided that I needed a belly button piercing. Yeah. But yeah, so one of the things that this got me thinking of is a lot of the things that you see on social media or on TV or in magazines or just anywhere are people in their best light. And I'll be honest, even with some of the marketing that we do, I don't, use the AI and put fake muscles on, but I adjust the lighting on photos to put
Accent.
more contours or shadows or lines so that the muscle definition pops out more. And I think
That's different than AI.
that's way different than AI. I would not pretend that any of those pictures that we just showed were real, or try to pretend that was us outside of joking around here. But I do wonder if there's a lot of people who see these images and
Think
maybe
that they need to look like that.
they need to look like that. And I work with a few people who are actual, professional bodybuilders. My cousin is a professional bodybuilder. And one of the things that I'm very aware of is that to get to that competition level, to get to look like we did in those, AI photos, you look like that for a night, for a few hours. That's you cutting weight, getting down to a very, very low body fat percentage, starving yourself, kind of like Austin was starving before we got here late with the pizza and wasting away to nothing. But that's not the norm. They don't walk around and look like that. On a normal day-to-day basis, nobody actually looks like that, like those
Answer all
photos.
those questions.
All right. Well, it says
So she does some fast-paced music. No idea what it is. I do a lot of fast-paced music. With the little ones, you kind of have to because their attention span is not very large, not very long, and so you have to keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I do some fast-paced music.
Yeah. And Wes is asking if I Photoshop myself. I don't Photoshop myself. We were showing those pictures as because that's what I said. We were messing around on the phone last night and playing with AI. But no, I'll just adjust the lighting on a picture that we've taken to accent shadows. But I never use Photoshop to like, where you can like make a muscle bigger. You can pull it out more. That's cheating. I don't do that. I mean, we could,
Doesn't need to.
irrefutable visual evidence on hand. But yeah,
And I didn't
AI
look at the
usually messes
hands.
up hands. I didn't see anything with the hands, but like I said,
I didn't notice.
it gave me an extra belly button and an extra nipple. And then it made her legs look weird.
And we absolutely do worry that it might cause body dysmorphia. And we have two teenage girls sitting right here, crashing our show right now. And we do worry about that because pictures that they see on TV
And
and
on
on
social media.
social media, they're fake. That's not
Well,
what
and
somebody actually looks like.
that's why I want to bring this up because Austin, pull that picture back up of me, the last one that we put up, the AI one where I'm like absolutely shredded that looks like me. Yeah. Because there are people that in real life get to this level of fitness. But that's what we have to talk about. We have to talk about what does that look like and to maintain this. So like I could actually get to this point. Okay. But that would mean about 6 to 8 more hours a week in the gym. That would mean about, 200 grams more of protein. That would mean
Testosterone?
possibly testosterone or some other gear, some other kind of performance enhancing drugs. That would mean being really cranky and really, really irritable. Like this right here is about like 5 to 8% body fat. And that is not healthy for you. To maintain that level of low body fat is really, really difficult. Now, guys do it, but guys do it for a photo shoot. Guys do it for a fitness competition. But then after that, they go rehydrate, they eat a bunch of food, and then they go back to kind of a normal, what we look like right now. I'm walking around right now at about 12 to 15% body fat, which is healthy. And then for women, women need a higher body fat percentage just to stay healthy. And so for a woman,
19
it's
or
about
20.
it's about
20%.
between 20 and 25 is normal for women. So trying to maintain a low body fat percentage long term is actually really bad for your heart. It's really bad for your hormones. It's really bad for all kinds of things. It's not healthy. And so, actors that you see in movies, they will do it for very short periods of time. And they will go in after they get shredded. I think probably one of the best examples of this is, what was the guy from, not Hugh Jackman, but the other guy in The Greatest Showman? The younger guy,
Zac
Efron. For the Baywatch movie, dude got absolutely shredded. I mean, best shape that he's ever been in his life. But then all the scenes where they filmed him working out and running around without his shirt off, they filmed those first because there's no way to maintain that long term. You got to get that filming knocked out because it's just, you can't maintain that long term. I never did any bodybuilding competitions.
My dad did. My
Your
dad was
dad
a
did.
bodybuilder.
And he'll tell you that he, could not maintain that long term. I didn't do that. I did, MMA and kickboxing and Brazilian jiu-jitsu competitions, and we have to cut weight for those as well. And I can tell you that after I made weight for the competition, I was like, take me to food. Take me
Give
to
me a
food and
cheeseburger.
water. I remember when I competed in Vegas at Naga the first time, and I was really worried that I wasn't going to make weight. So as I was driving to Vegas, it was in the middle of summer. It was August. I had a full sweatsuit on. I had a beanie on my head. I hadn't eaten or drinking anything, and I was spitting in a cup, and I had the heater blasting the entire drive to Las Vegas in August. I made weight. I got down to 135 pounds for that competition. And I felt miserable. And right after I weighed in, I was like, take me to In-N-Out now.
Yeah.
I want 5 burgers, animal style fries. Let's do this. Okay.
Yeah,
We're going to check out a video.
You guys are only able to see it right
Okay.
there.
Okay.
I give myself permission now to sort of let up and eat what I need to eat. It's not the time or the place to put pressure on yourself, unless you really need to be shirtless that entire film, which tends to be the case with me. I'm Zach Efron. Men's Health has asked me to tell you about what I eat. Let's dig in.
I guess the philosophy around my current diet is intermittent fasting mixed with getting enough nutrition to sort of sustain me throughout the day. I started intermittent fasting just after I stopped being vegan. My body wasn't processing the vegetables in the right way. So I decided to stop it and try something new. Intermittent fasting has been really helpful with that. For most roles, you change something. But I think probably the one role that I had to change the most for was probably Baywatch. That movie, I adopted a really, really specific eating regimen. Clean fish or meat with sweet potatoes, like that. And I just did that the entire film. So that was the most extreme I had ever gone. I think I was in ketosis that entire film. Beer run was really fun. I just got to eat whatever I wanted. And we were in Thailand, which was a good place to do it. I love Thai food. There's so many delicious things they can do with crab. But some of the best foods I discovered were like noodle dishes, like ramen, the soups and stuff they have out there. Geez, now I can't think of any of them. So sometimes when you're on set, I give myself permission now to sort of let up and eat what I need to eat. If I'm craving something, I'll just have it. It's not the time or the place to put pressure on yourself, unless you really need to be shirtless that entire film. What am I talking about? Which tends to be the case for me sometimes. What's harder, the diet or the working out? I've got training pretty locked in. The diet kind of does the finishing touches. Diet will take you to the next level. And if you're doing it right, you can train better. I don't know, it's sort of like the chicken and the egg. Toughest.
That was a great video.
Mm-hmm.
Diet I've ever done.
Sure.
Probably just not eating. I've done that a couple times. It's always rough. Have I ever had a cheat meal with Rock? We ate a ton of food during Baywatch. Tremendous amounts of food. Like he'll eat like twice the amount of protein I have in a day and a huge thing of carbs, and he'll just have it like in a 1 5-minute period between a take. So I watched him eat a lot. I don't know if we had that many meals. Favorite carbohydrate to eat? I feel good when I have bananas and when I have sweet potatoes. I think I get the most bang for my buck out of those ones. Also plantains, for some reason. Those give me good, like clean energy. Favorite protein? This is kind of a weird one, but I really like organ meats. So I love like liver and onions and things like that. Kind of weird, but I've grown really fond of it. That's a great question. An epic burger. Spent a lot of time in Australia. I love it out there. And I discovered I loved Vegemite. I mean, I got to like it without butter.
It's a Vegemite sandwich.
For the first time, you need to put a lot of butter and a little bit of Vegemite. After that, I got to like it where I was just eating the Vegemite without the butter. Even Australians called me weird for that one. I didn't want to rub in how much of a stereotype it seemed like it was, but we barbecued every night and we had shrimp every other night. So yeah, I just had to refrain from making that joke a lot. Last meal I cooked for a date, I honestly can't even remember. That's terrible. I think I'd leave it to ordering.
Zac Efron doesn't cook for a date. Come on.
The best food smell in the world. It always seems to be by.
So I think it's important to point out that those like really hardcore strict regimens, nobody sticks to those long term unless they're getting paid to do it, unless you're a paid professional athlete or a paid actor. Like I think someone like The Rock or Zac Efron or any, Hugh Jackman, they will do that. And they will put themselves through that, and they can do it long term because they're getting paid. That's their job. It's their job to be that fit. It's their job to be on set and be ripped and be.
Is it healthy for you to go from there to there, though?
There is a healthy way. There is a healthy way to do it and maintain it. I think it's unhealthy when you go to gaining a lot of weight and then losing a lot of weight. What's the actor? What's the Christian Bale, the guy that played Batman? He's had a couple roles where he was like really, really super thin and then, really jacked. I don't think that's healthy. I think that there's definitely, some impacts on your heart. I'm not a doctor, but I'd reckon that probably some effects down the road that are going to come from that. But so let's talk about a few things that Zac Efron talked about. One of which was intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
So
I do that quite often.
Yeah.
Honestly, pretty daily.
mm-hmm.
I usually skip lunch. I don't often eat dinner. I mean, I do when we go to my mom's on
You
Saturdays.
mean breakfast?
Did I say dinner?
You did say dinner.
I meant breakfast.
Yeah, she always eats dinner. It's
Yeah,
breakfast.
dinner is my staple meal for sure, but I don't always eat breakfast. I always have coffee with creamer. That's somewhat filling, but intermittent fasting is my jam.
Right. I'm just not a huge breakfast person, and I like to work out in the morning, and I'm just one of those people who I don't feel like I can push myself as hard on a really intense workout if I have a meal in my stomach. I just feel like ugh. And so I won't eat breakfast. I usually won't eat anything until about 11 or 12 in the day, and that's just personal preference for me. Now, the benefits of intermittent fasting are, one, you get it regulates your blood sugar and it helps you create insulin resistance insulin sensitivity. What do you think about Patty Pimblett and his weight gains and losses?
I don't know who Patty Pimblett
is.
Can you pull that up, Austin?
Yeah, we'll pull that up, Wes. Give us a second. We're going to check it out.
Wes, I love that you're asking all these
Me
questions.
too.
Awesome.
Me too. But the reason that people lose weight with intermittent fasting is because there's a smaller feeding window, you end up being in a calorie deficit.
Oh, he's a UFC person. We don't know him.
I haven't heard about this dude.
We do watch
From
MMA.
England, I know, but we haven't seen him.
Does he go from weight class to weight class, Wes? Because I know a lot of you.
Yeah, give us the skinny. No pun intended.
Skinny.
So yeah, a lot of people also fail with intermittent fasting because they get in the mindset of, oh, well, intermittent fasting makes you lose weight. So if I just don't eat except in this window, then in this window, I can eat whatever I want. And then people will eat in a calorie surplus during their intermittent fasting window and just binge on whatever food they want, and they'll gain weight. And then they'll be like, well, intermittent fasting didn't work for me. No, it wasn't intermittent fasting. It was you ate too many damn calories. That's what it was.
And I am notorious, and I've said this before, for snacking at night, but I still make sure that I'm within my calorie budget.
And boys and girls, can you tell me how she knows that she's within her calorie budget?
Boys and girls, you're so funny.
She tracks her calories religiously. Like she pulls up her Minute diary and every single calorie. All right, UFC fighter Patty. This is like a tongue twister. Betty bought a bit of butter, but she made the butter. Okay, so what's the deal with this guy?
Ultimate Fighting Championship Rising Sensation. Gained weight. Okay. The Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC Rising Sensation Patty Pimblett has gained weight just a month. Just a month after his remarkable debut UFC victory. His increased weight has sparked taunts from all around the world, with fans taking a dig at the Liverpoolian. However, Pimblett is a really bad last name, has reacted to comments about his weight gain in a humorous manner. He stunned the fighting community on September 5th with a spectacular triumph in his UFC debut, with a sensational first round TKO victory over Luigi Vendramini, at UFC Fight Night 191. He made his mark around the globe. Is there a video of that? No.
I'm sure we could find one. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: is
Oh, look at that transformation.
So he gained weight and then went back and won a fight, or he lost weight and won a fight. What is?
I think he won and put weight on.
That's right, Amanda. She freaking tracks it religiously. What doesn't get measured doesn't get managed.
The truth. I ate a whole cauliflower crust pizza today. A whole one.
And she logged every calorie.
And I still have 700 calories left.
Yep. So in terms of Pimplet, that's his name, right? Pimplet.
Yeah.
That is a terrible last name.
It's terrible.
I think I'd want to go get beat up in the cage too. Anyways, in terms
Or
of
defend
that,
yourself, right?
If you look at John Jones right now,
It's huge.
he got big. I mean, in his last fight that he won, he didn't look like the normal Jones that you see that's like shredded and cut. He looked kind of chunky. He looked like he's rocking a dad
did.
bod a little bit, but he tore it up and he was healthy at that weight. And, when it comes to martial arts, it really comes down to technique and skill and discipline. You don't
And the
necessarily
training's there
have to be
too, but
cut.
if you're not watching your calories, then you're not keeping your weight.
Yeah. What actor is this? McElhenney. An astonishing body transformation throughout the season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right?
He gained and lost 60 pounds in 6 months.
Yeah. 10 pounds a week. Wow.
Yeah. And here's, those of you who are working with me, you'll know that I always say this, that fast results come with what? What do fast results come with, Wes? What do fast results come with, Amanda? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
I'm not going to say it.
Okay. If you lose weight that quickly, there's going to be some issues. Okay. There's going to be problems. And one of which is that you're going to take a dive with your metabolism. And you're going to have, you could even see it with his, in that picture, the loose skin.
Yeah, you could.
And you're going to,
I noticed that too.
Yeah. You're going to gain the weight back. It's going to be, hard to keep those results too.
So slow problems.
Slow problems. Fast results come with slow problems. And I feel for, people who are in the film industry, because that's part of the job, right? Like if you're going to take a role, if you get cast for something and then they tell you, okay, you have 6 months, you need to get, you need to put on 10 pounds of muscle and look jacked. Who was the guy who played Captain America Chris Evans? I mean, he put on a ton of muscle for that. And so Wes says, just remembers reading articles on him and fighters saying he can't keep loading on the weight and off if he wants a long career. That's true. Going back and forth like that is going to be problematic. Mainly
the yo-yo effect
on
of
his heart.
Exactly.
On his heart. So what's our takeaway? Those of us who aren't professional actors, those of us who aren't professional athletes, how do we just, normal everyday people, maintain a healthy weight? And what should that look like? Well, we shouldn't be striving to look like the versions of the AI, renders of us. We shouldn't strive for that, because nobody maintains that for more than a few days. You rehydrate, you eat, and then you don't look like that for more than a few days. So you shouldn't be striving for that, but you should be, if you're a man, you should be looking for 12 to 15% body fat. You should avoid the whipped cream. This is what you had to find, Austin. Austin's fired. For a man, 12 to 15% body fat, and for women, 19 to 22, sometimes 25%.
Amanda, I totally agree. It's got to be hard on his joints. And you as a nurse, you know that. I'm sure you've seen some cases of some people that have lost weight quickly and have had joint trouble.
It affects your blood pressure. It affects your hormone levels. I mean, there's just so much that happens when you lose weight that fast. I think about who's that guy that was on the Man versus Food show? Adam something, and he would like do this, before trying to eat like a 1,700 pancakes or a 72-ounce steak. I mean, he had some serious health issues,
Health problems.
overeating, but then even after losing the weight. So,
Well, those competition eaters have a lot of problems,
Yeah.
stomach problems,
mhm.
because they eat all that food and then they try to cut weight too and go back and forth. and-
Well, and for that guy, it wasn't even just about the eating too much. I mean, he was doing like hot food competitions, like food that probably like caused an ulcer the first moment that he ate it. Like he was eating like, all right, today you're going to take the pepper challenge. There's going to be 4 Talokia peppers, 5 ghost peppers, 27 habaneros, and 4 jalapenos, all blended into a delicious salsa. And you can't drink any milk or you lose. And he would do it and he'd be like, but I mean, that's got to tear you up. I mean, I know that, even I love hot food. But like the hotter the better. Like if I get sushi,
He gets
I
so
get
much wasabi.
I get extra wasabi, and I baste my sushi in the wasabi. I want so much wasabi on that flipping piece of sushi that when I bite into it, like I start crying and I can breathe through my nose and I can smell colors, like and see sounds. Yeah, smell colors and see sounds. I mean, but I also pay for that. I also feel it in my stomach the next day.
Before I lost my majority of weight, I had really bad gastrointestinal reflux disease, and I was eroding my esophagus. And it was because of the way that I was eating. And so, I mean, part of it also had to do with my body's makeup and such, but the acid was eroding my esophagus. It was affecting my voice, which is very important to me as a music teacher and a musician and a singer. And so, yeah, the food that you're putting in your body is so important. But also, after losing the weight, the acid problem has reduced.
Absolutely. Yeah, it comes back to there's so many health conditions that are related to having additional weight on your body that just disappear when you get back to a healthy weight. So Amanda says, can't remember his name, but I have a friend who went on a date with him. The guy from the eating competitions, Adam something, that must have been a fun date. You gonna eat that? And then Wes says, saw a guy on TikTok doing 100 pounds in 90 days. His start was 400-ish. He was a D1 wrestler before losing that much. Quick, what do you think? So wrestlers and people in martial arts, we learn how to cut weight. You can cut a lot of weight pretty quickly. A lot of it is water weight. And in fact, the vast majority of it is water weight. You completely,
Which means it comes back.
you could. In fact, really high level athletes will actually go get IV fluids after weighing in, just because it quickly rehydrates you and makes you feel better, and it's easier than drinking the Pedialyte and the salt and all that. But it's really bad for your blood pressure. Really bad for your blood pressure. Now, if he's a young guy and his heart's healthy and he's still training, he's going to be okay, but that's going to catch up to him. Nobody should lose weight that quickly. The research has shown, and I don't have the studies on hand, but if you guys want them, I'll pull them up for you. 1 to 2 pounds per week is optimal for not only healthy weight loss in terms of your heart and your blood pressure, but also your skin elasticity to recover. And also, just because you're doing it slowly, that means you have to build a habit out of it that you have to do long term. You're more likely to maintain that result because you've had to, do the same thing and build a lifestyle change that you have to repeat daily for a long period of time, which builds it into a lifestyle habit, which makes it easier for you to maintain your results. Whereas if you do it really quickly, then it's like, taking the magic pill. And we see this with people, and I want to see some research on this, but we see this with people that have had the gastric bypass or the bariatric surgery. I would say a vast majority of them, and anecdotally, there's just people that I've talked to, but they initially lose a ton of weight, and then then I end up on the phone with them and they're telling me about how initially I lost all this weight, but then went back to my old eating habits and now I'm gaining a ton of weight and I have all this weight and I have all this extra skin and I don't feel good and I don't know what to do. It's like I had this surgery, but now I'm stuck. It really is about making it a lifestyle change. So I feel like the guy on TikTok is, probably trying to get some clout, he'll probably pull it off. But is that something that I would ever recommend anyone to do? Absolutely not.
Great medical weight loss studies came from the show The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
I need to look at that.
It's true. No, what happened with a lot of those people is there was huge recidivism. They gained the weight back, and they had a myriad of health issues as well. Made great TV, gave people hope, but it's got to be slow. It's got to be slow and steady wins the race. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and you have to take time. Amanda says it's taken me about 9 months to lose about 8% of my body fat, and Casey has kept me from wrecking my metabolism. Yeah, I mean, Amanda has really, stuck to this process and done a lot of good work. But one of the things that we've realized recently is that, she had gone into a little bit deeper of a deficit that she needed to be in. And I told her, I think it was our last session together, I said, hey, looking at your numbers, and the way I knew her numbers is because she's tracking things. What doesn't get measured doesn't get managed, right? So I was seeing that, there was a little bit of a plateau, and I'm like, why are we stuck here? What's going on? Let's peel back a layer and figure it out. She was in too deep of a deficit. And so I said, well, we need to make sure that we're no more than 500 calorie deficit. We need to make sure that we're getting enough protein and keeping the metabolism firing and activating the thermic effect of food, which you're not doing if you're not eating enough. And surely enough, she did that for a week and then broke past that barrier and is, now at a place where she, never imagined that she'd be, and she has a new benchmark to hit. So, super proud of you. So
Awesome,
Wes says,
never mind, Casey just answered it because he was asking Amanda if you wonder if
Mhm.
that's sustainable. And so you answered the question already.
yeah.
Are
so-
more food for 1 week lost another pound? Awesome.
So I told her to eat more and she lost
After.
more.
After more food?
Austin, we're not going to tell
Oh,
you to
ate
eat
food,
more
okay.
because you'll go eat the rest of those pizzas. But I mean, so yeah, there's nothing really magical about it. It really is just about being, in a calorie deficit, but not too deep of a deficit. Plot twist. Austin already ate the rest of the pizza. Speaking of Austin, I got to give a shout out to my man, Austin, here. This is, Austin is a good friend of mine. He puts this whole production on at, Player One Productions here in his secret bunker deep in the secret deserts in the New Mexico desert. And, but Austin does some amazing stuff with his photography and with his just his skill set. And if you're somebody who's looking for photography, if you're looking to create a commercial for a small business, for a big business, you need a photo shoot for a wedding, you want to film your little niece who's being born next week,
Or a video.
you want to take a
wedding.
video of your daughter picking her nose so you can call her out on it. Whatever it is, I think one of the coolest things that we did, and I saw a video of it yesterday, I was going back through some of my old content, but the first day that I connected with Austin, he brought his drone and he was like, all right, you're going to go just run and you're going to run around this place and then I'm going to have it follow you and we're going to get some really cool shots. And, I don't know if I had told you at this point, Austin, that I already, I had broken my leg, a few years prior. So yeah, he didn't know about that. Dude has me running like more miles than I'd ran in 2 years. And I up and down this really steep hill, and he's following me around with the drone, but we got some awesome shots. But like, if you look back at those and look closely, you can see me running a little like,
Yeah, you're still kind of gimpy.
yeah, it was a gimpy run, but, yeah, really cool stuff that he can do with the drone. So I do have a link in the description. Player One Productions, hit him up for all of your photography, videography, being chased around by a drone needs.
Your other plugs too.
So, what's your choice of protein and supplements?
So my choice of protein, and I'm dying right now because they were out of stock, but EPN is my favorite supplement company by far, for many reasons. One, their flavors are delicious. They were out of the particular flavor I wanted, so I was like, well, until it comes in, I'm just going to go to Walmart and grab a protein to get me through till then, and I hate it. I got the cookies and cream from Walmart, and I don't even know what brand it is, but I hate it. I want my cookies and cream from EPN because it's so good.
It's really good.
It's so good. And the vanilla cupcake, the cake batter, the cinnamon toast crunch, like you just can't beat the flavors. But also their protein has digestive enzymes. And any of you who have been on a high protein diet, you know that protein can
So important.
gum you up a little bit. So having those digestive enzymes helps your stomach process it. It doesn't, stop you up, if you know what I mean. I think they got it, Austin. I don't think I need to break that down.
Break that down. I say
Break
you
it
did
down.
that.
But so we represent EPN Supplements, and so if any of you guys want to try any of their delicious flavors, they also have BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. They also have pre-workout. They have non-stim pre-workout. A lot of people that get pre-workout get that pins and needles feeling, and I actually kind of enjoy that, but some people don't like it. They feel like their heart's going to explode. So they have pre-workout that's non-stimulant that you actually can do that. Speaking of EPN, what's your thoughts on quality protein products? On quality protein products, I mean, whey protein is whey protein. It really is. When I'm looking for something in terms of a protein product, I'm looking for something that's high in protein, low on sugar, and tastes good. That's my criteria, really. If it's got a good amount of protein, it tastes good, and there's not a ton of sugar in it, then it's a good product for me.
Because of the digestive enzymes, I struggle sometimes with proteins. I can't eat red meat. And then protein shakes and such, sometimes I struggle with also. I found that the EPN are easier to digest for sure. And they're also easier to dissolve when you're just making them in a shaker instead of using a blender. The protein dissolves more easily.
Yeah. And Wes is asking about, body side effects from different brands. Other than like I said,
Too much sugar?
too much sugar or just certain protein. There's also certain proteins that like you put in the shaker cup and you're shaking for like 20 minutes and then you drink it and you're still getting a clump of protein that you're chewing, and there's dry powder in your mouth that didn't mix. I find that happens less with EPN supplements. They're really soluble. Really, they dissolve really easy. They don't clump. They don't settle at the bottom.
I don't think you answered the question. Body side effects.
I'm curious about what you mean by that, Wes. Do you mean like, is there a certain protein that's going to make you like lose weight faster or make you feel like absolutely like jacked? I'm not sure. So if anybody is interested in trying out EPN, you can use the link in the description. you can get 10% off on any of their products.
And Wes, if you mean like if you're going from one protein brand to another, if it's gonna hurt you, well, I say no. I mean, we do that. We have to do that when EPN is out of stock. And like Casey said, he's just going for the lower sugars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely lower sugars. And then the other night you came home from work and it was a difficult day and you did not want to work out at all. But then what'd you get in the mail?
Oh, I got new workout clothes.
No, that's fine.
I got new workout clothes and I put them on. I tried them on and I felt better, and I went out to do my workout and I went back in and I ate a bowl of cereal, and then I looked at myself and I said, no, I'm going to do this. I'm in workout clothes. And I went and I worked out and I felt better.
That's awesome. Yeah, and hey Wes, if you have any more questions about that, just reach out to me and I'll go over it with you. Yeah, I think I love that hack for you that you know, everybody does something different to get themselves in a state to like be motivated to work out. And for you, it's like, I'm not feeling it, but then you go put on a new cute outfit and then you're kind of ready to rock. You're like, okay, well, I guess I'm wearing the uniform.
It's like putting
I might
on a
as well
uniform.
do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, just like I have to put on my teacher hat, even though
have
this
a
week
teacher hat?
I didn't feel super prepared to have the kids come in and to start teaching them. But I put on my teacher hat, or my big girl panties, as they say, which that's another story. But but I did it, you know. I taught those kiddos, and nobody would have known that I didn't have enough time to really feel prepared, because I was.
Absolutely. So if anybody out there is feeling like they need to try that out, if you need some big girl panties, no, I'm kidding. If you need some workout attire that's going to help you get motivated, and you know, the only thing better than working out is looking good while you're doing it. We have a link in the description for 30% off of your entire order from Bfit Amazing. So check them out. Use code CaseyDark, CaseyDark, no E at the end. At checkout, get 30% off. So, well, I just want to reach out and say thanks to all of you that jumped on and asked questions. I think this was a great conversation. And just remember, what you see on the internet isn't real. And if it is real, it's not something that's long-term. And don't have those expectations.
That
of
doesn't
looking
mean
like
us,
that.
because we're on the internet right now and we're real.
Right. Well, we're real, but the you know, that's what I'm saying is the pictures that we post, other than the ones that I put for the thumbnail of this ad because I was, you know, being funny, but the pictures of us with our shirt off or, you know, at the beach, that's
real.
what we really look like. And I don't claim to be Mr. Olympia. I don't look like Mr. Olympia. In fact, my
Yes,
you know
you do.
cousin, oh, thank you. You know, he's you know 10 times as swole as me, but I see him on his off season. I see him when he's not competing, and he's a big dude for sure, but he doesn't look, you can't see every single ab. Okay. That's not realistic.
Elaborate on that.
I mean, when you cut the way, okay, so for when bodybuilders go to their competition, as they're building up to it, they slowly start cutting out carbs and then food and then liquids, and they basically completely dehydrate themselves so that all of the muscle tone and definition and vascularity and veins are just ripping out of the skin. And they shave their arms and chest and everything, and then they tan themselves because that makes all of the every line more defined in the lights. That's why they're always tanned and orange, because you can see the muscle definition more. but they're miserable. They're like at 5% body fat, and they're starving, and they're cranky, and they're irritable. And, then they compete, and then after the competition, then they go back and they reload. And if you see any of those guys like post competition, they look bloated. They seriously do. They kind of have a gut. I mean, they're still big. You could still see, swole muscles, but you can't see every single line and every single vein because they've rehydrated, because they've eaten, because, they're going back into that. So
You say that, but you're a normal man. You're eating well, you're eating right, you're hydrating, all of that stuff. And you take your shirt off and you see those abs right away. They are defined.
but they don't look like the AI picture. That's my
Well,
point.
the AI picture, like you said, is not realistic at all.
Right.
But what you have is pretty impressive.
Right.
And
So I
it's real.
guess that's the point is if you get yourself to a good, 15 to 12% body fat, you can maintain that year round, feel good, feel healthy, and still, have a six pack. Wes asks, when I'm doing my bodybuilding competition, I've thought about it. I have, but I want to do another jiu-jitsu tournament. I want to get in the ring and choke someone out again. So that's what's next for me.
That's in September.
That's in September. Yep. We got a loose animal on the run. Awesome. Yeah, I have considered it. I have thought about it, but I don't know.
Why would you rather do jiu-jitsu versus bodybuilding?
Why would I rather do jiu-jitsu? For one, I'm going to be turning 43. I'm turning 43. I'm going to be on level 43. I'm not calling it turning. I'm level 43. And I want to, after I broke my leg, I had a period where I felt like worthless. Like I couldn't do anything. Like if someone broke in during that time in my life, if someone broke into the house, like I could throw a crutch at them. That's about it. All right, honey, you got this one. Like I felt like so less of a man. And so for me, it's like now that I'm healed, I want to go back and, prove myself and
So you
just
didn't answer the question.
remind myself why I still got it. And also because bodybuilding, to compete at the level to actually win and place, you have to spend a lot of time in the gym, way more than I'm doing now. I do about 2 hours a day now. You got to do about twice as much of that. And right now I'm focusing on building this business and helping as many people as I can. And I won't be able to dedicate that much time into helping change other people's lives if I'm just trying to,
And you don't
look
want
like
to
Sebum.
because jujitsu is your passion. You like to roll and
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what was that shirt that we saw the other day? What did it say? It was like, sometimes people just need a hug until they tap. What was it?
oh yeah. It's like sometimes you just need a hug around the neck
Until you.
until you tap until you need to tap or something like that.
Sometimes your enemies just need a hug around the neck until you tap.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yes, 2 hours, Amanda. I'll usually leave the house at like 4:45. I'll get to the gym right before 5, and then try to be home like a few minutes before 7, sometimes a little bit later. Get the kids up and ready for school. So yeah, 2 hours. It's about how long it takes me to get through my whole routine, and I don't expect any of you to do that. If
I
all
work
you're
out a
doing is
half an hour a day
30
usually.
minutes, if all you're doing is 30 minutes, that works. My goals are a little on another level.
Do you feel like jiu-jitsu?
Some people just need a hug around the neck until they tap out.
Some people just need a hug around the neck until they tap out. What was that question again, Austin?
Do you feel like jiu-jitsu is more rewarding than bodybuilding?
Is jiu-jitsu more rewarding than bodybuilding?
More than weightlifting.
It's different. It really is, because so here's something a lot of people may not know is I did martial arts before I had this level of fitness. When I started training martial arts, I was super skinny. I was probably 125 pounds dripping wet, but I got I got really good. I was fast, like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was not huge. He was shredded, but he wasn't a big guy, but he was fast. I mean, so martial arts is rewarding in terms of doing a skill level. But then when you add fitness on top of that, then when you add, muscle tone and strength, not only does it make you better, but you feel better about yourself physically. So I
not
don't know. It's
necessarily-
comparing apples to oranges,
So
really.
not necessarily bodybuilding, but strength training and weightlifting kind of goes hand in hand with the
Yeah,
jujitsu.
it synergizes because and honestly, I feel like strength training and lifting weights really has so many benefits in both physically and metaphorically in every part of life because like for example, the other week I tore or pulled something in my pec, and I was really frustrated because I was hitting PRs, which means personal records, on my bench presses, and I kept advancing. But then when I pulled that muscle, the one day I got under the bar, and it was just my warm-up set. I just had the bar. No weights were loaded on it. And I went to push it up, and I felt that pain. And I was like, that's weird. And then so I was like, well, maybe I'll just work through it. Then I put some weight on, and then all I did was unrack the bar. And I was like, I could tell if I brought that bar down, something was going to rip. And I was going to be going to the hospital that day. And I was like, nope. It wasn't going to be my shirt. No. So I racked it back up, and I was like, okay. And I had to take like a week or two off of doing any chest, which
But
which
that's really
killed me.
good of you to listen to your body.
Yeah, and I had to pay attention. And so then going back after it healed, I had to scale back a little bit, and I had to take a few steps back, and I had to work myself back up to where I was. This week, I finally hit a new PR. I got back to where I was before and then went above. And I think that's a real metaphor for life, because there's so many obstacles that we face in life where that happens, where we have setbacks, where we've made a certain amount of progress, whether it's in our job, whether it's with our relationships, with our loved ones, with our family, whether it's in just projects that you're trying to tackle. And then there's a setback. There's bad weather, there's holidays, there's injuries, there's sicknesses, there's things that happen. And it's so easy for us to want to just throw in the towel and give up when those setbacks happen. But we can't do that. We have to have that perseverance to keep working and pushing ourselves, and know that, like, okay, I got there once, I can get there again. And I find that through consistent weightlifting and training. And I always just say my favorite thing to do is pick up heavy things and put them down again.
You say that a lot. Yes, you
I
do.
So
And I don't. I mean, I do lift weights, but I'm not that girl that's going for powerlifting or
yeah, she's not going to try to look like one of those AI pictures.
Stop touching the microphone. But I do like to lift lightweight to tone. And I feel like for me that works. I mean, I'm pretty toned. But I don't need to go to the gym and lift 90 pounds, or whatever.
For you, it's more about like hitting your goal.
For me, it's more about maintaining and then also toning but I'm toning without heavy lifting.
Right. Well, and what I love about what you do is you experiment with all kinds of different types of workouts. Like you'll do HIIT and Tabata, and then you'll do weightlifting, and then it was kickboxing. What did you do the other night? You
Pilates and bar.
It was a HIIT, and she said it was a HIIT workout and it's bar, and I wasn't paying attention, and I was like, "What is this about you hitting the bar? What's happening?"
As I'm in the garage working out, and he's like, "You went to hit the bar?" right? Karaoke.
But I love that you do all kinds of, you'll experiment with different types of workouts, and you'll do different levels of intensity, and you'll do
And by the way, the Pilates and HIIT bar workout was a little challenging because it was really based on balance, and it was slow. What's the word that you use?
Isometric.
Isometric, exactly. Slow isometric movements that were challenging because you're balancing on one leg and such. But good stuff to throw in there for sure.
Yeah, I think you would love it, Amanda. You would. Amanda says
It's the
that
same thing as what?
it's
yeah,
different than yoga because it's more based on dancing and balance, but it's similar. Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah, Amanda, you'd love it. I mean, you've done ballet and dance and bar before, so we'll send you the one that she did. Was it Eleni Fit?
Eleni
Eleni
Fit.
Fit.
ELENI.
I'll put it on your Everfit to check it out. It was pretty intense. It was good.
Yeah, it was good. And not too intense, just very mindful of your balance the whole time and your breathing as well. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Awesome. Well, again, I just want to say thanks to everybody for jumping on and joining us. This has been an awesome live stream. Sorry about the confusion earlier, but we made it. We're on. This will be on YouTube at some point, but right now we stuck with Facebook. So thanks for jumping on again. Anyone looking to start a fitness journey, lose weight, get in shape, get your mindset right in terms of your health goals, there's a link in the description where you can hit me up, book a free call, and we'll get you squared away. If you're looking for some cute workout outfits, looking for something to motivate you to get working out, whether you're a man or a woman, link in the description, 30% off. Looking for that delicious protein, or any supplements that you need to help you along your journey, link in the description for 10% off with EPN Supplements. And looking to start a podcast or do some awesome production like this, hit up my man Austin from Player One Productions. And with that, we are out. We'll catch you guys next time.